Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
Good Sunday morning to you and happy Father's Day on this Sunday, June 18th. I'm Taylor Stewart, looking over a beautiful Charm City, and we're going to get right to your forecast. Meteorologist Amy Aronson. I imagine some folks are getting ready for brunch right now.
Yeah, or out to brunch already. It's a beautiful morning out there. Feels fantastic. Mid-70s, low 80s right now, already in great shape. And not much is going to change. We're just going to heat up today. So as you plan out the rest of your Father's Day, we have nothing but sunshine this afternoon. Plus, temperatures are heating up, getting a little toasty later today. We'll approach the upper 80s to near 90, and you'll notice clear skies all the way through this evening and through sunset tonight. We've got one more hot day ahead of us tomorrow, but then a more unsettled pattern unfolds actually for the rest of the week. I've got an updated look at our rain chances for the rest of the week and what it means for these hot temperatures in just about 10 minutes. Taylor?
We begin with some developing news this morning. 17 people injured in an MTA bus crash in Baltimore. And this happened along Pocket Street near West Mulberry Street yesterday morning. Baltimore fire officials say a bus hit an oncoming vehicle, then plowed into an apartment building. 5 people were sent to shock trauma, but none of those injuries appeared to be life-threatening. The building was partially evacuated. A fire department spokesperson explained their procedure.
Our special rescue operations team, they deemed that the building is not compromised. There is some damage. The first level of the building is condemned. However, the upper levels of the building remain intact. They were able to observe steel beams vertically and horizontally that support the building, which remain intact.
Now, as of now, it's not clear what caused this crash. We're going to follow this story and bring you any updates we get here on air and online. Well, a violent start to the weekend in Baltimore. A 65-year-old woman was shot Friday morning, then 6 additional people shot in North Baltimore Friday night. We're also heard from Acting Commissioner Richard Worley speaking to the media for the first time at the crime scene. Vincent Hill has more on the uptick in crime as BPD transitions to Worley's leadership.
A spent bullet and several bullet holes. Remnants of a mass shooting at Cold Spring Lane in York Road. The youngest victim, a teen.
Got a 17-year-old male, juvenile, GSW to the left leg and to a foot.
6 people shot in total, including an 18-year-old girl.
We believe they are all have non-life-threatening injuries at this time, but we're not 100% sure because they're still working on a couple of them are in surgery.
Acting Commissioner Richard Worley giving his first press conference since being appointed by the mayor last week, explaining the shooting from his years as a street cop in Baltimore.
This area has been quite challenging. I was here in the northern several years ago, and it was quite challenging then because it's just a lot of people that gather in this intersection.
Worley's challenge not stopping with the mass shooting while investigators were piecing together what happened.
307 Charter for the shooting. Discharging 500 block of red or a fresh ticket. Anonymous caller at the top of the block. Caller heard loud gunshots, about 15 to 20 gunshots.
BPD responding to 3 other shootings. For Worley, he's walking into the city's 3rd mass shooting of at least 5 people this year. In January, at the Edmonton Shopping Center, where 16-year-old Deontay Dorsey was killed. In March, the 2800 block of Edmondson, where 33-year-old boxer Ernest Hall was killed. And last month, near the Lexington Market, 5 people shot in the middle of the afternoon.
The weather is typically warmer, school is out.
Former Deputy Commissioner Jason Johnson says Friday's mass shooting could be a prelude of what's ahead for the new acting commissioner.
We know that warm weather months in Baltimore and again in some other cities as well, summertime tends to mark the increase of violence.
And despite an ever-growing officer shortage, Worley says he's already taking steps to battle the violence.
We plan on having more resources. We have certain units, their mobile metro team, we move them around strategically throughout the city.
Now, it's not the first time there have been issues in that same area. In 2021, a DPW worker was killed, and another worker shot after an argument broke out between the two and another group. That happened less than a block away from Friday night's shooting. Acting Commissioner Worley offered an explanation as to why this area continues to see violence.
This is a very tough intersection because you have multiple bus stops. You also have a gas station. Obviously, if there's a lot of people, there's the chance of multiple people being shot if somebody elects to open fire, and that's exactly what happened tonight.
Since the start of 2021, at least 3 people have been killed, 9 shot at that intersection. Johns Hopkins University releasing reports of a cyber attack, how your information may be compromised.
And we are looking at a sunny but a hot Father's Day ahead of us with highs in the upper 80s to near 90. I'll let you know exactly how long these summery temperatures will stick around this week in a couple of minutes. It's 10:35. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News.
As the NAACP calls on school leaders for solutions to help close the disparity gap, we're taking a closer look at some of the issues facing Baltimore City students.
Good morning, everyone.
The final day of the school year at Bluford Drew Jemison STEM Academy in West Baltimore.
But they were able to fight through all those adversities.
For the 8th graders, a promotion ceremony.
And here they are before you now. So let's give them a round of applause.
For rising senior Dominic Jackson, a more subtle celebration.
I'm just glad I'm still here.
The 10 boys in ties are years from earning a diploma.
The next 4 years will be a major era in their lives.
But this dedicated group of educators knows and warns.
One person, one place, one time.
How quickly that chance can slip away.
Can determine your success or your failure.
It already has for thousands of students in Baltimore City.
So students who enter the 9th grade don't typically graduate in 4 years. They may graduate in 5.
City Schools is the state's second most predominantly black school district in the state.
Or they may not graduate at all.
2022 numbers from Maryland's Department of Education shows 58% of Baltimore City public school students are chronically absent, meaning they miss at least 10% of the school year, which, according to the U.S. Department of Education, not only increases the likelihood a student will drop out, but is a strong predictor in the school-to-prison pipeline.
Chronic absenteeism really starts around 10 to 12 absent days, and we try our best when we're working with the schools to address it before it becomes too late.
Concentric Education Solutions works with the school system, trying to recapture students before they slip through the cracks. So when a student is not showing up consistently, they go to them.
We're doing some home visits for some of our mentees. We got about 8 visits queued up.
In a real sense, how are you able to persuade students to re-engage in the classroom?
Part of it is having those real conversations with students. I spoke to some students before who said, hey, I'm struggling to go to school every day because I work nights to help provide for my family. We work with the school by letting the school know, hey, this is the conversations we're having. This is the kind of support they may need.
So we were stopping by today.
We stopped by the home of Bluford Drew Jemison Rising senior Dominic Jackson for a conversation with him and his mother. Their explanation for spotty school attendance,
Doing what I gotta do.
grief.
You lost how many friends since the 60s?
7 homeboys. 7 of them. We all was close. I was hanging with them every day, all that. We used to play basketball.
His mentor, Miles Armstrong, says Dominic's situation is not unique, and it's just one example of how disparities in the city and the rise in juvenile homicides contribute to outcomes within city schools.
You got poverty, violence, grief, trauma. And then you have kids who may not deal with any of that, and they go to school and feel like there's nobody at school that sees them.
While a combination of home visits and tutoring have reignited Dominic's will to graduate, Baltimore City has 80,000 students.
Congratulations.
He's urging city leaders to take a hard look at the failures that contribute to poor retention in the school system.
We have to continue pouring into them, right? We have to make sure that we are giving our biggest investment a chance, right? Because if we don't, then what happens to us?
I done almost lost my life up here plenty of times, but God blessed me so many times. And my mother taught me a lesson.
What lesson?
You reap what you sow.
Taylor Stewart, Fox 45 News. All right, still ahead, some friendly competition to kick off Father's Day weekend. The sights and sounds from Friday's father-son basketball game in Upton. And one dad on a mission continue Maryland football player Jordan McNair's legacy. Still ahead, how this father is getting student athletes to strive for a safer future on and off the field. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News Weekend Edition, all local, all morning. The personal information of thousands of people, including some living here in Baltimore, may now be in the hands of Russian hackers. Johns Hopkins University and its health systems are one of at least 20 organizations targeted in a widespread cybersecurity attack that happened just last week. We spoke to a data security analyst about what you can do now to protect yourself. The hackers breaking into Johns Hopkins University and health system, stealing personal data, including names, contact information, and health billing records, according to the Department of Homeland Security.
They're just ruthless. They're not good people, and they don't care who they hurt. They just want to get paid.
Cybersecurity strategist John DiMaggio says ransom groups have grown increasingly sophisticated at extorting personal data for profit. This week, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency identified Russian-based group CL0P as being responsible for the breach.
Unfortunately, it's an epidemic. Russian-based ransomware groups are this is all they do all day, and they hire basically hackers to work for them to go out and conduct all the attacks. So where it used to be one gang of people, now you have hundreds.
And oftentimes, hackers are steps ahead, discovering and taking advantage of vulnerabilities in a system's software. DiMaggio says in this case, they were able to break into an internal system called MoveIt, giving them access to the hospital's payroll service provider.
Basically allows them to just open the front door, walk in, take the data, and walk out. John Hopkins is not alone in this.
The Russian hackers breached several federal agencies. It's not clear how much money they're asking for, but they are looking for a payout and threatening to leak private information otherwise.
Basically what happens now is you have a timer. That data is either leaked or sold to other criminals, and they're asking for, these ransoms in the millions and millions of dollars. Unfortunately, the real victims are the people whose data is actually exposed.
Leaders with Johns Hopkins say they are still working to learn the scope of the breach and warning people affiliated with the health system to monitor bank accounts, consider changing your passwords, and keep an eye out for suspicious emails. The question really is now, how vulnerable is your personal information that's stored online?
Yeah, I think today we're at a point where you just have to assume that any information that you put out there may one day be at risk. That's just the world that we're living in today, unfortunately. We're working to change that, but we're not quite there right now.
A recently declassified government report is shedding light on how the intelligence community obtains and uses Americans' data and how loosely regulated those practices are. Things like location tracking, purchase history, web browsing, they're all collected by data brokers and available to the public for purchase. And because anyone can buy it, the government doesn't have strict rules for how it can be used, which some argue could be a breach of the Fourth Amendment.
If the government is trying to investigate you or investigate a crime, they generally have to go get a warrant and be put through the normal due process. But this ability to purchase data from data brokers is essentially a big workaround. The military has purchased, for example, geolocation data gathered from Muslim prayer sites and dating apps in order to track users.
Bipartisan legislation was introduced in Congress, but blocked by data brokers that would block data brokers from selling data with the government's without the government's oversight. The bills have been stalled now for more than a year. Well, Juneteenth is tomorrow, and in just a bit, a local church is holding a special Juneteenth worship service. Members of the Pennsylvania Avenue African Methodist Episcopal Church are hosting that celebration at the church today. It's a Juneteenth-oriented worship. Churchgoers and the community got to celebrate their culture yesterday with a reunion and cookout and festivities. They had free food, a drum line, and a whole bunch of things you could see. Voter registration is also going to be available on site. And Juneteenth became a federal holiday back in 2021. It marks 158 years since the end of slavery in the U.S. Also happening today, AFRAM continues from noon to 9 o'clock at Druid Hill Park. It's one of the largest African-American festivals on the East Coast. Yesterday, Governor Moore attended that festival with the mayor, Brandon Scott, and they spoke to the crowd there. We got that picture from Governor Wes Moore's Twitter. And then Jay sent us these pictures showing off his outfit yesterday at AFRAM 23. And Ryan Jackson doing some of the same here, giving us a little video from the festival in his fit. Plenty of local artists are performing again today. Well, DJ Sun performed yesterday, shared this picture from one of the stages, saying he's ready to take it again. If you're there today, we want to see how you're celebrating. Go ahead and send your pictures to us here at Fox 45 News All you got to do is scan that QR code on your screen. It's going to take you to foxbaltimore.com/chime-in. There you can upload your pictures and videos. It's powered by Stackler. All right, let's get over to meteorologist Amy Aronson. A lot of dads are feeling happy today, I'm sure.
Yeah, lovely day out there. Maybe dad is golfing today. Looks great for that. Just a little hot out there. Summer solstice is actually coming up this week on Wednesday, June 21st. That means sunrise at 5:40 that morning, sunset extra late at 8:36. We technically end up with 14 hours, 55 minutes, and 30 seconds of daylight, the most amount of daylight during the year. And that has to do with the tilt of the Earth. That's what gives us seasons. It's tilted directly towards the sun in the northern hemisphere on Wednesday, and that's what gives us all this daylight. We're enjoying some daylight right now. Lots of sunshine, 81 degrees. Not getting a dew point reading currently, but it feels pretty nice out there with that north-northwesterly wind at 9 miles an hour. We have high pressure building in from the west here, and that's helping keep us nice and dry. A new weather maker to our south. Lots of issues there. Eventually, that's going to spread our direction and kind of just hang out to our south and send us some chances for rain, too. Future scan shows we're dry today. We're actually dry tomorrow. A couple of showers will measle their way in here from the south and from the west. Not a big deal. It's Tuesday that we see that increasing cloud cover, and then I think a few more showers will get in here as we head through Tuesday and Wednesday, and actually increasing coverage as we head through the end of the week. So take advantage of the sunshine we have today. Great day to hit up the pool. Lots of sunshine. Highs headed into the hot upper 80s. For Juneteenth tomorrow, similar setup. Another great pool day on deck. We've got more sunshine. Yes, we could see a stray shower late in the day. I think most places don't see that. And it's going to be another hot one with highs in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees. After that, rain chances will gradually go up. We are looking at that stray shower chance all the way through midweek. After that, a better chance for some spotty to scattered showers both Thursday and Friday and heading into the weekend. And you can also see all these rain chances in our full 7-day forecast. Looking great for Father's Day today and tomorrow, too, with highs close to 90. Then we've got just a couple of stray showers Tuesday and Wednesday with more clouds than sun. Low 80s will take us through Friday. After that, a better chance for showers, unfortunately, as we get into the start of next weekend with highs in the warm upper 80s. Taylor?
All right, take a look at this. What's better than some bark with your beer or a pint with your poodle? The Baltimore Animal Rescue and Shelter recently held its annual Barks Crawl. Dozens of dog owners flocked to Federal Hill with some of their dogs alongside them. 15 bars participated in this crawl, offering special discounts to those in attendance. It's also a huge financial help for Barks.
It allows people to participate and support Barks in a less direct way than maybe adopting or fostering an animal. It also helps us get awareness out to our neighborhoods that Barks is here. We support not just animals and families, but our businesses and our city. And then also it's just a good time, and animals make me happy, and we want to share that with everybody.
Now, the animal shelter is currently at capacity, and organizers say it's a great way to participate even if you're not ready to adopt.
There we go. It's up there. We up there.
All right, today is Father's Day, and what a better way to celebrate than a father-son basketball game in Upton. Stepping Toward a New Destiny, or STAND, held its 6th annual game on Friday. Fathers, father figures, police officers were all there playing to help strengthen the bonds between young men and their mentors.
A lot of these kids here are members of Stepping Towards a New Destiny, and they understand that being mentored by a man and having someone put them into the right direction can change their future and really help them put them on the right track.
Over 2,500 people have participated over the last 6 years. Organizers say they're looking to grow every single year on the court. And a live look now over Towson, where the day is getting off to a mild start. We're going to hit the 80s. Meteorologist Amy Aronson will be back with her 7-day forecast for the rest of the week.
8:56 on this pretty looking Father's Day. Of course, the Orioles out of town today. Camden Yards looking a little empty, but if you're going to be staying in, watching the game with Dad, looks nice out there today. It's going to get a little hot, so maybe some indoor time is in your plans. Perfect for grilling too. Upper 80s today with lots of sun. Tomorrow for Juneteenth, we've got highs near 90, a hot day. And then we introduce that chance for a stray shower. Gradually, rain chances will be increasing. We're watching a system to our south, going to try and push some much needed rain our way, especially later on in the week. We actually need the rain, so this would be beneficial. Keeps our temperatures down, so we should spend much of the week in the low 80s. We also kick off summer solstice on Wednesday, so that means the most amount of daylight, extra early sunrise and an extra late sunset. And then after that, temperatures will warm for the start of next weekend, but it looks like rain chances, unfortunately, increasing too. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Right now, it looks like more showers likely as we get into next Saturday. So still a lot happening in that 7-day forecast.
Absolutely. I mean, after the 90, you know, you want the rain.
You're going to need it to cool you down a little bit, right?
Exactly, exactly. Well, all the dads out there, have a great Father's Day. We want to see how you're celebrating. Share them on Chime In. And just have a magical week. Have a magical week.